You'll be back begging for your job." The room was silent, except for the tick of the clock on the wall. I remember the way he leaned back in his leather chair, fingers drumming against the polished wood desk. My father-in-law, my boss, my executioner. "You'll be back begging for your job," he said, lips curling around the words like they tasted sweet. Beside him, my wife didn't even bother to pretend. She smirked. A smirk I'd seen before, at waiters, at strangers, at me when I didn't play her games right. "I can't be married to the unemployed," she said softly, almost like she was apologizing. But she wasn't. It was a performance. Her eyes flicked to her father, waiting for his approval, as if marriage was another one of their business transactions. I didn't argue. I didn't beg. I just felt something inside me collapse quietly, like a building gutted from the inside, leaving only the facade standing. I packed my life into 2 suitcases. No words, no explanations. Just the quiet sound of zippers closing and doors shutting. And I vanished. 9 years later, I stepped back into the same town. Different man, different blood, different weight in my chest. And when they sat across from me again, this time begging, not smirking, it was almost poetic. Back then, the betrayal wasn't just unemployment. It was intimacy weaponized. It was her whispering in the dark, "We'll be fine," while plotting the exact opposite. I remember lying awake that last night, her breathing steady beside me, her hand resting on my chest like a claim she didn't want anymore. She didn't even flinch when I turned away. I thought about the months leading up to that moment, the missed dinners, the late meetings, the way she locked her phone screen when I entered the room. At first I told myself it was paranoia, that love makes fools, and I was just playing my role too well. But then I saw the exchange of glances, her and her father, when I presented an idea at work, the silence that followed, the dismissal, the slow suffocation of my presence in both the office and the marriage bed. It wasn't just betrayal, it was exile. They wanted me gone, and they got their wish. The years that followed were not kind, but pain, when sharpened correctly, becomes a weapon. I learned to swallow hunger, to sleep on floors, to shake hands with men who would slit your throat if you blinked too long. I built something out of nothing. Not once, not twice, again and again, until the pattern itself became muscle memory. Every failure carved me, and every success hardened me. I kept my silence. No calls, no letters, no attempts at closure. They wanted me gone. I became a ghost. But ghosts learn things. I followed the trail of their company from a distance. Declining numbers, bad investments, debt. My father-in-law's arrogance, unchecked without someone to steady his hand. My wife, ex-wife, though I never signed the papers, stumbling in society circles, clinging to relevance, her smile stretched thinner with every passing year. 9 years. 9 years of silence, 9 years of sharpening the blade, until the invitation came. It wasn't really an invitation, more of a plea disguised as opportunity. They needed a $3 million investment, just enough to stop the bleeding, just enough to buy them time. They didn't recognize the name at first. My company was global now, faceless and vast. But when I walked into the restaurant, tailored suit, measured step, I saw the color drain from her face before she even spoke. Her father tried to hold composure. He grated me with the false warmth of a man pretending the knife wasn't already at his throat. "We're glad you came," he said, voice brittle. She just looked at me, eyes searching for something familiar. But I wasn't there anymore. I let them talk. Numbers, promises, a desperate pitch rehearsed too many times. I nodded, silent, my mind elsewhere, counting the ways they had dismantled me 9 years ago. Then I slid the envelope across the table. No words, no explanations. She opened it with trembling fingers. He leaned over her shoulder. Their faces turned pale at the same time. Inside the envelope wasn't a check, not a contract, not salvation. It was a copy of the termination letter he wrote 9 years ago. His signature at the bottom, her countersignature in the corner, approving it as a board member. The document that erased me. I had kept it all these years, not out of nostalgia, out of precision. I watched them stare at it, watched her lips part in a silent attempt at explanation, watched him swallow his pride like it was poison. I leaned forward, finally breaking my silence. "You were right," I said softly. "I didn't come back for the job." Her eyes glistened, his fists clenched against the table. But I didn't stay to hear their excuses. I stood, adjusted my cufflinks, and left the envelope on the table. That was the investment I offered them, remembrance of the moment they destroyed me. And now it destroyed them. Outside, the night was cold. The air tasted different, clean. I didn't feel triumph, not rage, not even satisfaction, just clarity. 9 years ago, they took everything I thought I was: husband, employee, son-in-law. They stripped it clean and left me to rot. But in that silence, I built something stronger, something untouchable. Now they sat drowning in the very ocean they once threw me into, and I had no desire to pull them out. I didn't need to. As I walked away from the restaurant, the echo of their silence followed me. Heavy, final, and for the first time in 9 years, I felt lighter. I wasn't theirs anymore. I never would be again. Some debts are best repaid with silence, and mine was paid in full.